My decision is final, Elara. You can't marry him nor anyone else. You can have children and live with them here after I'm gone. My lineage will not end like that. God forbid, Kante shouted. I must marry Okwe, whether you like it or not. Your lineage can end for all I care, Elara shouted. Once upon a time, in a village in faraway Africa, there lived a farmer and his daughter in a community in Africa. Kante was a rich farmer who refused to remarry after the death of his wife long time ago. His daughter Elara was raised by Kante. He is the only family she knew. Elara had grown into a beautiful young woman. She sells fruit at the village market. Kante is always overprotective of her and never allowed her have friends or mingle with other villagers. Elara always walked fast to any errand out of fear of her father if she returns late. What girls of her age does, her father wouldn't allow her do it. Most villagers believed she is a witch and was haunted by her mother's ghost. That's why she's always walking fast and rarely talks to anyone. She always hoped for a life when she would be free of her father's bondage and live like every other young girl in the village. His house is at the outskirts of the village, which made it more difficult for people to visit them. He had no friends, only his daughter. One day, Elara met Kia, a fellow villager, at the stream. She loved the way she sings and dances. Kia told her she could teach her if she wouldn't mind. She told her that if her father finds out she was talking to her, let alone hanging out with her, he would kill her. Kia was surprised to hear her say such. She promised her she would visit her and convince her father to allow them become friends. Elara pleaded with her not to visit her because of her father. 2 days later, Elara and her father was eating when Kia came to her house. Kante looked at her in a strange manner. He was surprised to see her in his compound. He gently asked Kia to leave his compound and never return. Kia tried to explain the purpose of her visit when he shouted at her to leave immediately. Kia took to her heels. She got home and explained to her mother her ordeal in the hands of Kante. Her mother warned her never to visit them again, that Kante was evil. She told her it was rumored that he killed his wife. The poor woman died, leaving her innocent child for that monster to raise. Kia's mother said, that night, Kante was furious at Elara for inviting Kia to their house. Whenever he is angry at her, he beats her up. Elara cried herself to sleep after being beaten. She has several thoughts running through her mind on how to leave her abusive father. She was scared and covered in bruises from the beating she got from her father the previous day for inviting Kia to their house. Kante told Elara that if she ever disobeyed him again, he would make sure she never sees the light of the day. Elara was scared of what her father told her. She knew her father would do exactly that to her, or even more. Elara confided in Kia that she planned to run away to a distant land, away from her father and her abusive behavior. Kia promised to help her escape and keep her secret. Few days later, Elara met a young man named Ope. He took interest in her from the very first time he set his eyes on her. He told Elara that he would love to marry her. Elara, filled with joy, told Kia about Ope's proposal. Kia was happy for her. She begged Kia not to let her father know about Ope. She told her that she would tell her father about Ope when the time is right. Most times when Elara goes to the stream, she will visit Ope before going back home out of fear of her father. Few months into Ope and Elara's relationship, Kante found out. Kante asked Elara to stop seeing Okpe, but Elara refused. She told Kante that Okpe had proposed to her and he's waiting for her to allow him come with his parents for formal introduction. Kante shouted over his dead body, "Who will take care of me when I'm old if you leave? And what will become of my compound when you marry that good-for-nothing boy?" Kante shouted. "Please, Papa, allow me to marry Okpe. You can marry another woman that will take care of you. Since Mama died, you have refused to get married." "Elara, I did it for you. And I won't marry another woman. My decision is final. You can't marry him, nor anyone. You can have children and live with them here after I'm gone. My lineage will not end like that. God forbid," Kante shouted. Elara was shocked to hear what her father said to her. How could he think of such life for his daughter? "I must marry Okpe, whether you like it or not. Your lineage can end for all I care," Elara shouted. Kante gave Elara the beating of her life. As if that wasn't enough, he forced himself on her. For days, Elara couldn't leave the house. She was devastated at what her father did to her. She was okay with all the beatings, but forcing himself on her, that she couldn't take. She had endured all the pains, torture and beatings from him since her mother died, but what he did to her last night was the height of it all and unforgivable. Kante, who was never remorseful about what he did to Elara, told her not to ever tell a soul about it or he would kill her. Elara tried all in her power to avoid Okpe and Kai. She didn't want to lie to them about what happened. A few weeks later, one evening, Kante called Elara. He told her that he wasn't his real father. He told her that she married her mother, who was already pregnant with her. "But you are the only father I knew, Papa," Elara replied. "How could you do such thing to me? Now I'm pregnant." Kante apologized to her. Kante, hearing that Elara was pregnant, apologized to her out of happiness. "Maybe it might be a male child, and you can marry whoever you want after giving birth to him. He can stay and take care of my lineage. Papa, leave me alone. I don't care about you or your lineage," Elara shouted. She couldn't hold her anger anymore towards her father. She told Kia about what Kante did to her. Kia advised her to run away with Okpe and never reveal she was pregnant to him. Elara thought about it, what Kia told her, but she couldn't bring herself to hurt the only man she loved. Elara was consumed by anger at her father and her life. She tried all in her power to find the courage to forgive Kante and move on, but she couldn't. She became depressed as days went by. She told Okpe she can't marry her, that she is with another man's child. Okpe was heartbroken, hearing that Elara could betray him. As Elara's pregnancy protruded, villagers began to gossip about her. Some said she was impregnated by her father, since she was never allowed to have friends or talk more of dating. Anytime she passes, people will mock her and abuse her without knowing the pains she was passing through. One evening, on her way back from the market, she heard Okpe was getting married to Kia, her best friend. She was heartbroken. She blamed her father for putting her in such condition and pains. That night, as the villagers slept, they woke up to a loud scream by Kante. He was stabbed to death by her daughter Elara, who also took her own life. Kia told the villagers about Elara's abusive father and how he was responsible for her pregnancy. The villagers were ashamed of themselves for blaming Elara without protecting her from her abusive father and without knowing what she was passing through. The moral of this story is that we shouldn't mock someone's pain Sometimes we judge people without understanding what they are passing through, and that is very bad of us. We should learn to understand people, try to be in their shoes and understand the pain they're passing through before passing any judgment onto them. Until next time, kindly let us know what you think in the comment section. Bye bye.